Hey everyone, Matt Pridham here again for another iSnipe video tutorial. Today we're going to go over saving and loading and backing up all your profiles. Alright, let's get started. So let's start by loading in some factory ammo. We'll go ahead and click the load button down here at the bottom of the round section. And that shows us our list of factory ammo. We've got quite a nice selection in here, as you can see. Just scroll through the list here into the millimeters. Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and load some, let's do 260 Remington, for example, and we'll load the Nosler 125 partition. Okay, so it's loaded in our information here, and let's say, for example, we've actually gone out with a chronograph and we've measured our own ammo, or this particular ammo, through your own gun, and you found that the muzzle velocity isn't exactly what's written on the box. So we'll go in here and change this to maybe something more like 2850, because you've got a short barrel. Okay, and we want to save this so we can use it later. So we can just go ahead and click the save button, and it will confirm that we want to save some user ammo. We'll go ahead and click save. So now anytime in the future we can come back in and load that ammo just by clicking the load and then going over to the user section up here at the top, and you'll see we have our own custom Nosler 125 partition. Now the other way that we might use this is if we're reloading our own ammo, in which case we would go and load a projectile, or load just the bullet. And from here we see a totally different list, and this is again just bullets, not full completed factory ammo. And so we've sorted this through diameter, and we've got quite a few diameters in here. And you can see what the various ammo names would be considered under each of these diameters. So let's go ahead and load some 308 ammo, for example. And we'll load in one of my favorites, the 155 CNR from Lapua. Now the first thing to mention is that the ballistic coefficient here is showing up as the word Litz. Some of our ballistic coefficients have been pulled from Brian Litz's book, Applied Ballistics for Long-Range Shooting, in which he's gone out and actually experimentally derived very, very accurate ballistic coefficients. And he's asked that we simply hide those from view. And if you'd like to see those, simply head off and check out his book. Certainly we don't get any kickbacks or anything for recommending it. It's just it's a really good book, and truly I believe every long-range shooter should give it a read. Alright, so that being said, we'll go ahead and enter in our muzzle velocity. In this case, we're shooting pretty hot. And let's go ahead and label that. Let's call it hot. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save this into our library here and confirm it. And anytime we want to load this ammo back in, we just simply click load and go to the user section, just as we did before. Now, as you start to use iSnipe and you start to save more profiles, you're going to want to back these up and perhaps be able to move them to other devices. And so we've got our own little online sync tool over here that we can go ahead and click. And as it says up here, accounts are auto-generated, so there's no confirmation process. Just go ahead and enter your email address in here. So we'll just do that. And then just choose a password, anything you like. And click OK. And the account will be created for you, and anything in this current list will be backed up successfully. So maybe we go to another device, and that device is completely empty, and we would really like to have all those profiles over here that we had on our first device that we saved and backed up. We can go ahead and do the online sync. Now we're already logged in, so it didn't ask for the login information again, but on each device it will ask you the first time. And we simply say download our profiles, and sure enough, there they are, the two we just created. And this is a nice simple way to make sure that all the work you put into creating your own custom profiles doesn't go for waste if in case something happens or you dropped your phone in the drink or whatever might happen. Okay, so we can do that with each of these sections, of course, as you set up your firearms. I've got a really nice Barnard that I zero at 300 yards. And my sight height is 1.6 inches above the bore. My click is indeed quarter minutes, and I don't currently have any zero conditions to enter. So we can go ahead and save that. And in this case it's a rifle, so we'll save it on this section. If it was a pistol, you could go over there as well. And just as we did with the ammo, of course, anytime you want to load in that particular firearm, you simply go to load, and it's there under the rifle section. You can store all your pistols over here as well. In the range section, same again. If you go to various different shooting ranges and you like to have them set up in a different way, perhaps your shooting range has several different shooting positions and one of them is an up or down slope that you like to keep track of, you can go ahead and save these as well. And of course, anytime that you use the online sync, let's go ahead and just save one of these ranges in here, just to show you how it works. And let's call it 5 degrees. We'll change our step size to 1, and we'll go done. And we'll save that in our ranges. So again, anytime that you use the online sync tool, it's available from any of these load buttons. You can get to it from any of the sections. And anytime you back up your device, let's say we'll go ahead and say backup profiles, and it will say, oh, there's something in the cloud already. Of course, those first two ammos that we created and backed up, and it's asking, are you sure you want to overwrite what you've already got there? And this is something that's important for being able to move stuff from one device to the other. It's important to consider the order that you do that, and so that you don't overwrite some of your stuff that you're trying to save. So in this case, it's okay. We'll go ahead and overwrite those two, and everything's been saved. So if for some reason something happened, and again we lost all of our profiles, including the range and our firearms. Let's get rid of these two. We could go into any one of these load buttons, for example into the range, and click online sync and download our profiles. And we can go into any of the sections and notice that it has downloaded all of our profiles, and every time that you upload them or you sync them to the cloud, all of them get synced, ammo, firearm, and ranges. I know that's a whole lot of detail about the online sync backup tool, but we do get quite a few questions about that, so I did want to touch on that fairly heavily. And I think that's everything for the save and load video. See you next time.